What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another video. And I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised. You know what I mean? At this. And the title from Politico, it's Pro-Palestinian protesters are backed by a surprising source, Biden's biggest donors. Remember, I always talk about my conspiracy theories becoming conspiracy facts, and a lot of conservatives talk about George Soros, and Soros is going to be mentioned in this, but we're going to get into it. But before we do, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, you guys. Don't forget to join the flock that airs for everyone, all right? It says here some of the most outspoken groups against Biden and Israel get funding from foundations attached to some of the biggest names in Democratic circles. President Joe Biden has been dogged for months by pro-Palestinian protesters calling him Genocide Joe. But some of the groups behind the demonstrations received financial backing from philanthropists pushing hard for his re-election. The donors include some of the biggest names in Democratic circles: Soros, Rockefeller, and Pritzker, according to a political analysis. And this is Politico saying this. Politico, which is leftist as hell, like super leftists. Two of the organizers supporting the protests at Columbia University and on other campuses are Jewish Voice for Peace and If Not Now. Both are supported by the Tides Foundation, which is seeded by Democratic mega donor George Soros and was previously supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It in turn supports numerous small nonprofits that work for social change. Soros declined to comment. When would he comment ever? If, I've never seen it. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has previously funded the Tides Foundation and other groups, said it no longer has active grants to Tides. It also does not support Jewish Voice for Peace, or If Not Now. Another notable Democratic donor whose philanthropy has helped fund the protest movement is David Rockefeller Jr., who sits on the board of the Rockefeller Brothers Fund. In 2022, the fund gave $300,000 to the Tides Foundation. According to nonprofit tax forms, Tides has given nearly $500,000 over the past 5 years to Jewish Voice for Peace, which explicitly describes itself as anti-Zionist. Several other groups involved in pro-Palestinian protests are backed by a foundation funded by Susan and Nick Pritzker, heir to the Hyatt Hotel empire, and supporters of Biden and numerous Democratic campaigns, including $6,600 to the Biden Victory Fund a few months ago, and more than $300,000 during the 2020 campaign. The trail of donations shows a series of blurred lines when it comes to liberal causes and democratic politics. Often those missions are aligned, but they also sometimes have different, and particularly when it comes to Gaza, conflicting agendas and tactics. And a small group of wealthy heavyweights are often playing an outsized role, funding many of them. But as protesters' tactics have grown more intense, like taking over university buildings and shouting anti Semitic remarks, the group behind them are now attracting criticism from prominent donors on the left. Oh, Lord. Why is the Rockefeller Fund giving significant grants to Jewish Voice for Peace, which blamed the horrific October 7th attacks on Israel and the United States rather than Hamas? Said Elisha Wiesel, a Democratic donor who chairs the Eli Wiesel Foundation, or Wiesel, I think it's pronounced like, excuse me, an organization that supports anti-genocide work. Jewish Voice for Peace, which did not return a request for comment. Is anybody return a request for comment? Has been the leader in disruptive protests against Biden, including shouting genocide supporter at his glitzy fundraiser at Radio City Music Hall in New York in March. It protests on campuses across the country, and a statement immediately following the October 7th attack said that the source of all this violence was Israeli apartheid and occupation, and United States complicity in that oppression. The complex funding system in the nonprofit space sometimes means that groups are funded by grants or even subgrants from a larger organization that isn't involved in granular day-to-day management of an activist group's work. In a statement to Politico, someone gives a statement. In a statement to Politico, the Rockefeller Brothers Fund noted it cannot support political activity or campaigns and is not involved in the personal political giving of trustees. Our grantees in all three portfolios support a broad range of policy ideas. Some align with the Biden administration's agenda and others conflict. This complexity is part and parcel of our non-partisan work, said Sarah Edkins, the fund's communications director, in a statement. Some advisors to left-leaning causes say that that's just part of the way things work when it comes to philanthropic giving. That's true, because in the last election there was people that were giving to both, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. But still, it's kind of hard to justify anything when you're giving, hand over fist to these people, and these are the people that are backing up President Biden, who supposedly is an enemy of the pro-Palestinian movement because he's been giving so much money to Israel. There may be times where a donor may give to an organization or candidate that sometimes does something that clashes with their personal view, said Kevin Conlon, who has been a bundler for Biden as well as for Democratic presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, and now advises nonprofits. Bundler, huh? Interesting word. Still, some donors say they feel conflicted as they watch the protests unfold. We're hearing from folks who want to make sure that their dollars aren't supporting people who are supporting Hamas and shouting anti-Semitic things, said Daniel Goldwyn, Public Affairs Executive Director of the Jewish United Fund in Chicago, which issues grants to small local nonprofits and to larger national nonprofits. If it's an organization they've been giving to for a long time, we encourage them to call and communicate their concerns. It says Biden is struggling to regain support from young people who went overwhelmingly for him in 2020, and the protests may complicate that effort as Israel faces increasing criticism from around the world amid the high numbers of civilian casualties in Gaza. Demonstrations in the United States are only growing more intense. Those at Columbia University in particular have emerged as a thorn in the side of Biden, who finally weighed in on them on Thursday. All right, so the rest is just talking about how Biden, is being affected by this for his election and all that. I'm not gonna even go on. You guys, the mayor of New York City came out and he was talking about organizations like BLM and the Pro-Palestinian I want to call them freaking insurrections, just to be cute, right? But yeah, man. So he was speaking out about them, and he was talking about how people are being paid to protest, and it just seems like this is another notch to that theory. And I don't even want to call it a theory because I believe it. I believe it 100%. George Soros has been doing this for decades. But I'm gonna leave this down there in the in the links, you guys. Be sure to check this out if this interests you. Like always, I look forward to hearing what you guys think about this. Let me know down below, and I will try to get through all the comments and get back to you guys. But yeah, you guys, that's it for this video. I hope to make at least one other video today. There was a juicy topic that I have to talk about. But yeah, you guys stay safe and stay based.